It was a trip that Cardinal Timothy Dolan and his team from New York kept secret due to security concerns. Quietly, he entered Ukraine to meet with locals whose lives have been upended by this war.
But can I see your pictures? Wow, with the airplanes and everything.
In the city of Lviv, he meets a family who were forced to flee their home in the east of the country. Now they sleep on a mattress on the floor, but at least they are safe for just now. And a 94-year-old who recounted to the Cardinal the fear and terror she felt when the Russian army closed in on her town. Straight after leaving Ukraine and crossing the border into Poland, Cardinal Dolan sat down with EWTN to share what he had seen.
We saw a young man today in Lvov. He couldn't have been 20 years old. He was in a village where there was bombing. And ever since then, he just sits quietly. You can see that he's shattered. Physically, he's fine. Inside, he's in turmoil. His poor grandmother is there with him.
Ukraine was just one stop on a tour that took in 3 countries in total.
My brother, how are you?
Visiting refugees in Poland and neighboring Slovakia too.
Thank you for your faith and your hope.
At the train station in Przemysl, refugees have just arrived, relieved at having escaped Ukraine, but now anxious about the future.
We came here because we're scared. We don't know what will happen next. Maybe we will stay here, or maybe things will calm down and we will go back.
The Cardinal also meets some of the volunteers who have come from near and far.
And do you know how many are coming?
This young boy has been volunteering every day since the war began 50 days ago. And also this man, Nelson Mahaya, who quit his job and moved from Jersey in the United States to Poland when he saw the war on TV.
I woke up in the middle of the night and said, something happened. So I need to do something, and I was praying a lot, so that's what brought me here.
Had you been here to Ukraine before, ever to Poland?
First time in Europe.
The Cardinal was making this trip with the charity group CNEWA, Catholic Near East Welfare Association, of which he is the chair. Also on the trip is Monsignor Peter Vicari, CNEWA's vice president.
It was the Cardinal's desire to come to show solidarity. I think as the Cardinals expressed it so eloquently at Mass, you know, we all can relate to our mother who takes care of us. We can also relate to our mother, the Church, who takes care of us in whatever particular agency that might be. It is living out the gospel mandate.
CNEWA is an agency of the Vatican that provides funds to the Eastern churches and religious sisters to support them in the work they do. In Slovakia, the Cardinal met with sisters who have been sheltering Ukrainian refugees.
It is so hard for them. Having lost their safety, they have to accept help. Even though they had everything there, they couldn't take everything with them. But they are trying, they are working so hard, and they are a good example to us.
Katerina Lashenka came here with her children, while her husband remained in Ukraine to defend their home.
Every day I think about my husband. I dream when I come back in Kiev, in Ukraine.
This is raw evil, and that tempts me to discouragement, to think, how can this tyrant get away with this?
How do you think this is going to play out?
We just today in Ukraine went to a place where they had clean water. And I said, oh, this is good for the refugees. And they said, oh no, we have to get this to our people, because in the east, where the fighting is intense and where the destruction has been particularly vicious, the Russians have literally poisoned their wells and poisoned the rivers. The Ukrainians said, one thing we Ukrainians had in abundance was water with our rivers, and the Russians have poisoned it. Now, if you're going to use those kind of weapons, I just tremble to think what might be in store.
Even though the huge crowds and the frantic rush that we witnessed here in this very train station just a few weeks ago has died down, you still have a steady stream of refugees coming from Ukraine here to Poland and going out across Europe, having waited at home and stuck it out for as long as they could. Now they wait with uncertainty about what their future will be like, about when this war will end, and what kind of Ukraine will be left when it does. In Poland, Colm Flynn for EWTN News in Depth.